At midnight tonight, the evil Mr. Shade will turn Paradise Park into a waste dump. To save the park, Count Noblecastle must find his family treasure and pay Mr. Shade. Your task is to help Skipper and Skeeto hunt for the hidden treasure and save Paradise Park.
Hello and welcome to the next review. Today, as you may have guessed from the title and thumbnail, we'll be reviewing Skipper and Skeeto, The Great Treasure Hunt, a play and learn game developed and produced by Ivanov Entertainment. It is from 1998, so the graphics are slightly dated and the game mechanics are also slightly dated. It's effectively a point-and-click adventure, problem-solving game aimed at the ages of, is that 6? That is 6. 6 to 14 years. However, it is also the most challenging game that I have ever played. It has got one of the best stories that are very simple and allow you to focus on the game mechanics, but it's for children so they can understand why you're doing what you're doing. It allows you to go through the castle and has some of the best music that I have ever heard in video games. Maybe just because I like the style, but have a listen. Exactly, right? It is phenomenal. On top of which, the challenge of it isn't very false. Unlike many games these days that are predominantly combat oriented that I play, if you play on easy mode, it's sort of easy. Normal mode is pretty standard. Hard, they just make the enemies have more health and hit harder. You have lower armor or whatever, which feels bad. It doesn't make the game harder, it just makes the mechanics skewed out of your favor, which does make playing harder, but the game itself is the same. This doesn't have difficulties. This has a time system. In the game, you have to find things. It in fact says as much on the back. Kids will enhance visual and creative thinking skills as they guide Skipper and Skeeto around the castle, finding objects that might be useful later on. Plus, various levels of activities keep children challenged. It includes an astronomy room that teaches kids about the solar system, elements of the game sharpen chemistry skills, learn about the stars in the Constellation game. There are internet links to fun and factual websites. I'm not entirely sure if the internet links are still up, just so you're aware. It encourages creative thinking by defeating ghosts that lurk in the castle, and sharpens problem-solving skills by working out probably problems, but there is a barcode on the back, so... Yes, it is an interactive adventure for the ages of 6 to 14, but I, as a 20-year-old man, still struggle with it to this day. I've completed it twice. Once I used a walkthrough, the other time was just after the time that I used a walkthrough, so I remembered most of it. It is punishing if you make mistakes. But the save feature works very well. You have a variety of save slots that you can use and call upon at will. And there is a clock in the bottom right hand corner, as you can see here, that goes round. And you have 1 hour, and you know you have 1 hour. However, at a certain point in the game, which is probably, if you play pretty well, around the 55-minute mark, you will find your first forgotten moment, where a cat burglar sat on the roof and forgot time. And you can use these to turn back time slightly. And later on, well, throughout the entire game, if you use your magnifying glass around the screen, you can find them. You don't have to click or anything, you just look all over the screen a couple times, and one will probably pop up in most places. Which is an excellent mechanic, because that way it's still pressure, you only have an hour, and time goes by a minute every time you move somewhere. So, you have 60 minutes, which means you have 60 moves. Ground floor alone has 5 rooms. Well, it's got the main hall that you start in. There's 4 doors, plus the stairs going up. Boom. 5 places from the first place you go. If you go in the first door on the left, there are at least 2, probably 3 places. Second door on the left, there's another place. 2 doors on the right are locked, so you have to find the keys first and come back to go into them. But everywhere has these forgotten moments. I don't know how many there are in total, but you have to use them and then get time back, so you have enough time. And then at the end of the game, there's Maze, which I got lucky the second time through, I think, but it's very difficult. But yes, it is a phenomenal game with excellent music. The gameplay is wonderful, the graphics are a bit dated, as you will see in the cutscene that I'm going to play at the end of the game. But it is excellent for kids or families to do, if everyone gathers around a screen and plays. I don't know whether you can actually buy it off of the internet anymore, but I know you used to be able to, as I bought this copy, which is unopened, and will stay that way because I still have my copy from 1999, when it was bought for me and my brother by my granddad. Regardless, out of 6 Pokeballs, I will have to give it a 5.8, which is the highest I believe I've ever given anything on this channel, because for me personally it has nostalgia value, the music is excellent, the gameplay is wonderful and challenging, and I love challenging games. It's a wholesome game, and overall, it's just fun. Sure, it claims to learn about the stars in the Constellation game. I don't think I ever actually really read anything about that. And the Planet game, this is a bit outdated, so it includes Pluto. And it's very hard to tell where certain things are. But it's jolly good fun. I would recommend buying it if you have the option. Regardless, until the next video, I will catch you cats on the flip-flop. Goodbye.
Hello, where are you, Skipper?
Look out! Someone's coming! Let's hide! Mr. Shade! So, do you have the money? Yeah, the money. But you promised we could pay later. I've changed my mind. You're to pay today at the latest, and the day is over in an hour, at midnight. You can't stop me. I can make a lot of money by changing your beloved little park into a rubbish tip.
You where? There's still time for us to pay.
Do you really believe that? I'll be back in exactly 1 hour to fetch the money or take over the castle.
If only we could find your ancestors' treasure.
In 1 measly hour? But we've looked all over, my dear. You know, my ancestors did a jolly good job of hiding it. If only there was someone to help us. Did you hear that? Before long, this is going to be turned into one big rubbish tip.
But where are we going to live? If only we could do something.
We can't give up. We have to try to find the treasure.
I'm sure it's inside the castle.